It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Saturday, the 13th of September. I'm Michael Groff. No doubt you've noticed if you've stepped outside today, it feels much different out there. Drier air worked its way into the region last evening. Those dew points have come way down. That resulted in a very pleasant morning across the valley. Lows got down in the 70s area-wide, with some spots getting into the upper 60s. And while we have had a pretty warm afternoon today, not nearly as warm as it has been in recent days, we'll have another pleasant night tonight, somewhat warmer temperatures tomorrow into Tuesday. And then the weather pattern turns decidedly more interesting, complicated, and there's a lot more questions than answers. And we're going to try to figure out what happens, but much of that revolves around the eventual evolution of a tropical cyclone or a large plume of tropical moisture, perhaps coming up into the southwestern United States. There's a number of different solutions out there. Each one has their own ramifications on our weather. Oh, lots to talk about. We'll get into it and everything else as we dive on in just a moment. Hey everyone, it's Michael Groff here to talk to you about your roof. With all the extreme weather we have in Arizona, you need a name you can trust, and that's why you should call Blackstone Roofing Group for all of your roofing needs. Call for your free inspection today. Big or small, they do it all. Tile, shingle, or flat roofing, they can help. Offering free inspections and more. Roofing made easy. Call 602-536-9363 or visit blackstoneroofing.com to schedule your free inspection today. And if you tell them Michael Groff sent you, they'll take $500 off the price of your roof replacement. Again, that's 602-536-9363 or blackstoneroofing.com. All right, let's get into it here. Taking a look at the Almanac from yesterday. 102 degrees the afternoon high, 82 was that low. 102 and 80 are the averages for this time of year. As we take a look outside right now at 1:20 p.m., sunny sky across the valley. We're sitting at 95 degrees at Sky Harbor. Not bad for this time of the day, but look at the dew point down at 38. It is definitely dried out. Relative humidity sitting at 14%. Winds are light, barometer falling. And to illustrate this point a little further, let me show you what's going on here. These are dew points across the area right now. Quite a moisture gradient across the state, because here in the south central deserts, dew points in the 30s to about 40. Further to the north and west, dew points are in the 20s and 30s. But to the southeast of us, you don't have to go far, down to Tucson, and further to the south and east, and over into New Mexico, dew points in the 50s and 60s. So that moisture is still down there. And of course, over in New Mexico, we're still dealing with the threat of some showers, thunderstorms, maybe some strong and severe storms over there today. Much like we had in eastern Arizona yesterday, we had some supercell storms, large hail, gusty, damaging straight line winds, even some reports of tornadoes. It was quite a day in the eastern part of Arizona, but things are quieting down now as we show you the satellite here. Put that in motion. The axis of our trough is passing through Arizona. With that, of course, the drier air is coming in, the flow aloft turning westerly. That will shut off the chance of showers and storms for now. But some moisture will start to seep back into the state, maybe as early as Monday and Tuesday. But in the short term here, we're looking pretty decent, especially those overnight lows are going to be a lot better. The watch warning map, pretty quiet in our state now, but of course still have some flood watches up there in parts of Colorado. Otherwise, things are relatively quiet. We do have here on the convective outlook the standard slight risk of severe storms, level 2 out of 5 over parts of southern and central New Mexico. The broader severe weather risk, the marginal risk, from parts of West Texas all the way up into the Dakotas and eastern Montana. Little sliver of a marginal risk in sections of Illinois and Indiana. The tropics in the Atlantic Basin, we have a new wave out there in the eastern Atlantic. No chance that develops over the next 2 days, but about a 50-50 shot that will develop into a tropical depression or storm in the next 7 days. And obviously, we're going to keep an eye on that, but the preponderance of guidance shows this gaining latitude, and it shouldn't be a threat to the United States, but we're going to keep an eye on it. In the Pacific, things are kind of interesting here. We've got a couple of waves out there. One is out still well to the east-southeast of the Hawaiian Islands. That is expected to stay away from the Hawaiian Islands, passing to the south. And then we've got a couple of other areas of disturbed weather that may develop into tropical cyclones. What you will notice is Mario. That was our tropical storm yesterday. It's off the board right now. And it's just kind of sitting there, but might redevelop. We might see this flare up once again to develop into a potential tropical cyclone. And the eventual evolution of that, yes, I don't think we're going to see that entire system the entirety of that massive tropical moisture come up here, but some of it in some form could come up the west coast of Mexico into the southwest United States later this upcoming week. And who knows? I mean, there's a lot of different solutions on the table regarding all of that. We'll try to iron that out in modeling. Speaking of, let's take a look at the rainfall outlook. This is valid through next Saturday morning from the WPC. Rain amounts in Phoenix, we could see anywhere from a tenth to a quarter of an inch. Of course, some spots will no doubt see more than that. And of course, your amount will vary because this just represents an average of what we'll see across the area. But any one spot can get more than that. So what's going on with this weather pattern? What is happening? We'll figure it out right now as we get to the models, have a look at things. This is the GFS, the 12Z run, valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. We start as always with that upper look at 500 millibars. This is about 18,000 feet off the ground. All right, trough moving off the east coast. It's brought down some nice cooler air all the way down into parts of Florida. Had a nice start to the day there. And we have this trough coming through the southwest, the axis of which is moving to the east. And so that drier air continues to work its way in here. There's another pretty potent wave. In fact, the wave train's ongoing. Another area of low pressure just off the Pacific Northwest coast. Another one to the northwest of that. What it all means for us down at the surface for the rest of the day today. How about sunny, dry? Not bad for this time of year. High temperatures, mid to upper 90s. The average high in Phoenix for today, 102 degrees. And we're going to be a bit shy of that for this afternoon. A few showers and thunderstorms right along the eastern border, the southeastern corner of our state today. But other than that, all the action will be over New Mexico, Colorado, and points to the north and east from there. All right, for tonight, the sky is clear. It's very pleasant. Overnight lows drop in the mid and upper 60s in the coolest valley locations. The rest of us will be in the low to mid 70s. It will be delightful. And even after sunset, it'll cool off pretty quickly now with that drier air around. All right, for Sunday, yeah, we're going to be a little bit warmer. Highs upper 90s to about 102. The sky is sunny. The air is dry. Monday, we do see evidence of some low-level moisture beginning to creep back toward the southeastern corner of Arizona. The reason for that is the flow aloft is going to be very light westerly, and that will continue the dry air aloft, but the flow down at the surface may become more light southeasterly. So we'll see some moisture coming back toward the southeastern part of the state, and maybe even an isolated shower or thunderstorm down there. But for us, we're still going to be dry. High temperatures will be around 100 to 104. We're going to see the same deal on Tuesday. Isolated showers and storms in the eastern and southeastern part of the state. We continue to be dry and mostly sunny sky here. We might see a few clouds at times and highs, 100 to 104. Now, from this point forward, the forecast turns quite a bit more complicated. All right, this is Wednesday. High pressure is sitting to the southeast of us. We've got an area of low pressure off to the west. The flow is still fairly light west-southwesterly here. And we have a tropical plume of moisture that's beginning to gather there south or just near the Baja and right along the west coast of Mexico in association with either a tropical cyclone or an area of disturbed weather down there, a wave. And that's going to start to filter northward with time. And we're going to see some increase in clouds by later on Wednesday. I still think the forecast here will be dry for the day on Wednesday. High temperatures will still be in the upper 90s to about 103 degrees. But we should start to see a small increase in humidity around here. And again, some isolated showers and storms in eastern and southeast Arizona possible. As we go to Thursday, the models continue to come into better agreement that we'll see at least some increase in tropical moisture from that south-southwesterly flow here. Normally, southwest flow is dry, but if we've got a tropical cyclone or a tropical wave or a big pool of moisture down there, well, then, of course, it is not a dry flow of air. And so we'll see at least widely scattered showers and thunderstorms start to develop over Southern California, southwest, maybe south-central Arizona. And so in a nod to that, we put a slight chance of storms into the forecast for Thursday, and we'll see more clouds around, so temperatures will back off at least a few degrees. I'd say highs probably about 97 to 102. Here's Friday. Widely scattered to maybe even scattered showers and thunderstorms around now. But how this moisture evolves, I mean, there's just a ton of different solutions, okay? Because we have some of our guidance that shows a substantial slug of tropical moisture coming up here with precipitable water values well above average, up around 1.5 inches, and a decent amount of rainfall across the area, maybe scattered to widespread precipitation. Other models show just a lot of clouds and maybe a few light showers, and this just being kind of that scenario. And everything in between. There's a big spread in the models that develops out here. So we're going to keep an eye on how this evolves, but just know that the end of the week could turn pretty unsettled here over the southwest with at least some chance of showers and storms. And again, for those of you asking, no, this is not monsoonal. This is not a monsoon setup, not in a general sense. It sure feels like it. It'll have kind of some of the same signatures, but no, this is tropical moisture from either a existing tropical cyclone, a decaying tropical cyclone, a tropical wave, whatever the case, that's down there off the Baja. All right, so let's keep it going. This is a week from today. This is Saturday, the 20th. We have this upper low that's just hanging off the California coast, and that's going to be, along with that ridge to the east, kind of the impetus for that southwest flow and that push of moisture from the south. Now, once that initial kind of band of moisture moves on through, it would start to dry out theoretically, but don't look now, because the GFS by Sunday the 21st, it's got another tropical storm or hurricane down there. And while the GFS loves to just paint in these rogue tropical cyclones, there is some agreement on the global models that the East Pacific will remain active with the threat of another tropical cyclone developing down there. So we have to keep that in mind, as that is a legitimate possibility. So we could see more moisture here. And again, the global models show substantial tropical moisture remaining to the south of us. And in this kind of a pattern, especially with that upper low just to the west, and enhanced southwesterly flow and somewhat stronger winds aloft, that would act to give us some more forcing and dynamic support for those showers and storms potentially to come back in. You can see that here synoptically. There's that storm down there. This is the end of the forecast period, Monday the 22nd. Look at that upper low now off the Southern California coast. Now, it's a little unusually far south for this time of year, but it's not like we've never seen that in late September. That can happen. And that tropical storm or hurricane, whatever that is, that tropical cyclone down there now being pulled more toward the north and maybe making a turn toward the desert southwest. Now, let me just emphasize this, because I know what people do, and this is 10 days out, okay? I promise you, I will guarantee you, this will change many times between now and then. Is this what's going to happen? Is this the ultimate solution? Do we know this to be? Of course not. There's no skill in forecasting anything like this at 10 days out. That said, we do have a contingent of our models in the GFS and European Ensemble suite that certainly call for a dramatic increase in moisture out here toward the 7 to 10 day period, and the chance for showers and thunderstorms to really increase over the southwest. But this involves a lot of moving parts, and a lot of things have to come together for this to happen. You know, there's people already talking about, oh, can we see another Rosa up here? Remember that storm from October 1st, 2nd, 3rd of 2018 that dumped 2 to 5 inches of rain or more across the state? Well, yeah, that's always a possibility, but the likelihood of that occurring is fairly low. So we're going to keep an eye on things, though. All right, looking at rainfall for Phoenix, this is off the GFS Ensemble, and this goes out through the 27th of September. And yeah, look at the model spread. You got a model there that's over almost 4.5 inches. The ensemble mean is picking up there toward 3/4 of an inch. Actually, over that. The European ensemble is at about an inch. The control member is up around 3 inches, and you've got some individual members here that are pushing up at 3 and 4 inches of rain. But you also have a few members on here. There's 51 members in this ensemble. You got a few that show nothing at all. That's a huge spread, especially for this part of the country. So that's crazy. And then the European AI, which has been the most bullish, is actually the least bullish with the ensemble mean at about 2/3 to 3/4 of an inch. But again, even here, there's some individual members that are up at 3 and 4 inches of rain. So naturally, we've got a lot to figure out here over the next several days. But there's some interesting stuff that could be occurring. Let's hope. We could certainly use the rain around here. And this is the time of year to get those kind of tropical cyclones up this way. So very interesting stuff to look forward to, potentially. That's the dirtiest word in meteorology, potential. Okay. Take a look at temperatures off the national blend of models. Well, given this time of year, this isn't bad. Yeah, we're going to poke up toward 103, 104, 105. But then the trend will be down after that. We'll probably have a few more days where we don't hit 100 degrees. And if we get that tropical moisture up here, I will tell you the deterministic European model is showing highs in the 80s out toward about 10 days with copious amounts of rain. Is that going to happen? I mean, it could, I guess. But no doubt we will see at least some increase in moisture across the region later this week and next weekend. And that could certainly bring temperatures down a little bit more than what's shown here. All right. And what you're looking at here is kind of the end product, right? But within the national blend of models, there's a pretty big spread. The interquaternary spread is, I think, about, even out at 7 days, is around 7 or 8, 9 degrees. And the spread increases pretty dramatically beyond that. So the models are all over the place. And so that's why we talk models here. We talk about all the possibilities. And we're not afraid to tell you, hey, we don't know. I know there's some people out there that'll tell you, I know what's going to happen. You don't. You know, not at 9 and 10 days. Your weather apps don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows. All right. And that's what makes this so fun. That's why we do this, right? And that'll do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you really enjoy what we do here, you appreciate the hard work, the effort that we put in here, you want to support the channel, then click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube. Make that contribution to us that way or via PayPal, groffshow@gmail.com. That's our PayPal address, groffshow@gmail.com for PayPal. Our Venmo is also linked up down in the description below. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle. Check her out. Blogs, videos, everything Michelle related, Kylie related, Adriana related. It's all linked up down in the description below. So check it out. You know what else you should check out? And that's our streaming station, available 24/7, 365, called KMGX. We play a ton of music. We have a lot of fun with it, so give that a listen as well. All right. Also, I want you to check out Dan over at the Courtroom Files YouTube channel, The Courtroom Files on YouTube, or courtroomfiles.com for all your Courtroom Files merch. And the reason you should check Dan out is because, well, his channel's great. He has a lot of content. He's a personal friend of mine and a friend of this channel. Those are all great reasons, but an even, well, I won't say a better reason, but I'm going to say an equally good reason, a compelling reason, is it's game night tonight over there in the Courtroom Files. Yeah, Dan's not talking court, not talking anything serious, anything hard-hitting, heavy. He's talking, I think he's playing Lego Star Wars, which, I mean, that could actually be a pretty heavy thing to talk about. It would be for me because I'm terrible at that game. So if you want to see Dan playing some games, just chilling out, it is it's a chill place to be, but it's also a great community. And I'll be over there. I'll be hanging out in the chat. So you want to come and talk to me and talk to Dan and everybody else that hangs out over there, then do that. That's tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific in Arizona time, 8 East, 5 Pacific. Game night over on the Courtroom Files YouTube channel. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. All of your continued support. It is so greatly appreciated. Please be safe. Stay cool. Stay hydrated out there. And have yourselves a delightful rest of your Saturday.